Hello and welcome to Let's Make a Game on Roblox. In this episode we are going to be further developing our game and getting it to, we're going to be getting the parts that are going to be ready for the game. We're going to be setting up the fundamentals of the game. And also going over a few things that I missed in the last episode, as it was just something that I overlooked. Okay, to get started, you want to open up your project and be on the screen that we are now. So one thing I forgot to mention in the last episode was that you have these different tabs above here. If you also go to view, you have everything that we've got open. So for example, we've got the output, the command bar, the terrain errors editor. Now if you don't see anything in that's not open, then you can go to view and just open them through these menus here. One thing first as well, I like to remove this because it gets in the way of a few things. You don't have to, but what this is basically, if you want a top-down view, it will just take your camera and turn it to a top-down view. I'm just going to remove it because it gets in the way of a few things for me personally. So we're going to continue and start with, I'm going to show you how to add an image into the game. We're going to be going into scripting, and that is another part of Roblox Studio which we will be going into further down the line. We're just going to be creating a basic script which is going to show a few parts of Roblox off, all different parts, which is going to be setting up our game. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and find an image of like cash, for example. So let's go ahead and go to the web. And it's very simple. You can search in icons, and you should get a website straight off the start called Flat Icon. Now you can just type in here, and there are quite a few free ones. So if we just type into cash, for an example, there are quite a few free icons available. Make sure that this is not the right website. I don't think. Give me a sec. We have an yeah, it is. Here it is. So we just want to go ahead and look for cash as an icon. So let's go ahead and search up. And they have quite a few icons available that are free. So if you just search, you should be able to find some of icons that are free. So if you scroll down, you should see some free ones down here. So there's quite a nice one there. So we'll go ahead and click on it, and you can see that we get our image here. We get two different variations if you wanted two different ones, but for the time being we're just going to keep it as it is. So we're going to go ahead and save that as a PNG. Now you can also go ahead and select your own custom color, but it requires you to log in. We're going to go ahead and log in anyway because we do have an account. We can just go ahead and log in with my Google account here. And just go ahead and quickly log in and find that image again of the coins. And we're going to download two images. We're going to be downloading one of just how it is now. So we'll go ahead and press save as a PNG. Click that and go to free download. And that's going to download up there. We're going to go ahead and select that. And now we're just going to change it into like a yellow. Okay, we'll keep it black and see if we can. Okay, that's fine. So what we're going to do is we are going to open up a Paint. You can do this on Paint. You don't have to have expensive stuff to do it. So you can go ahead and open up Paint. Although it is more easy if you do have more expensive programs to go ahead and edit things. So we're going to open up your download that you just saved. So we'll go ahead and go to downloads, and there you go. You're going ahead and open that up. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to fill in these with a gold color, which is going to make it look more like a coin texture. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to go ahead and file and save as, and we'll go ahead and save that as business 2, for example. Okay, so that's going to do that. I'm just going to check something. Have we actually downloaded it as a transparent object? Let's have a look. So we're going to go ahead and select this PNG. Yeah, colors. Is it a transparent? Okay, yes. Okay, so now that you've downloaded your image, what you're going to do is you're just going to find your image and you're going to place it in the folder that we have been, I've been talking about before, the pictures folder. We're just going to go ahead and copy that and put it into the pictures folder in my game. This will be where your folder is. It's just easier because then once you've done that, you can just go to one specific place to get your pictures. So now we have our pictures. We're going to have to upload them. So we're going to go to images. We're going to press add images. And now you can see all our images are here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to give these a proper name. So let's just go ahead and, okay, I don't know why it's taking so long. Just going to give these a proper name. So let's rename them and let's call them coins. And then we're just going to name it coins lit, for example. Okay, now you're going to hold control and you're going to select both of them and press open. Now it's going to start importing them to Roblox. So we're going to go ahead and close out this and go to images, and as you can see we've got our images here. Now it'll take a while for them to load and they may not load straight away, which is fine because they have to go through a few checks on the website to see if that they're nothing inappropriate, which they shouldn't be. So there are two ways we can show images in the game. You have a physical game, which is what we've got now. So we can have a part, for example. If we have a part, this, and let's say we want to scale it up. Okay, what is going on here with the scale? Okay, we're pressing the, okay, it's fine. So we have a part here, we want to scale it up. So we have physical and then we have UI. There's two different ways we can display it. So if we go ahead and insert a decoil, so a decoil is just basically a way we can put a texture in. So we can go and show our coins and we can just hover over the face that we want to see it. So this is like the front, this is like the back, this is like the side, this is like the top, etc. So there's two ways we can display it. So we can display it like this. And then if we go ahead and change the decoil, so we're just going to, so the way we've just got two of them here is we're going to press Control C and then press Control V to copy it. And now we can just select where we want it to show. So as you can see, we have two images. We're going to select this one and we're going to change it to the lit version. Just as an example. Now as you can see, there's two, well, it's given a white background, which means that the image itself doesn't have a transparent background. Which is going to be a little bit of an issue for us because we don't want it to show this. We want it to be hollow. So we can actually make our image transparent. So there's quite a lot of things you can do. You can use quite a lot of online tools to do this. So if we go ahead and I found a website here, for example, we can just go ahead and select our image we want. So we're going to click here. All I've gone ahead and done is searched up image transparent, and we've got our image. Go to desktop, find our image we want to make transparent. So we're just going to go ahead and copy these. So we'll go ahead and set this one. Now it's going to go ahead and give us a transparent version. So we go ahead and save as. Preview transparency. Okay, yeah, so it should be okay. So we'll save as. And we'll go ahead and download it. So there we go, that's going to be our transparent version. So we're just going to go ahead and take that, bring it over here, and we're just going to go and take it and put it into our previous, okay, opening window. We're just going to replace them with what we've got here. So we're just going to drag and drop it into here. We're going to copy the name of this one, delete it, and then we're just going to rename it and paste it. And then, okay, one second. And if you don't see this .png, you can go to View, and then you can go ahead and press file name extensions. So we'll go ahead and just give this coins.png now. I'm going to do the same for coins lit as well. So we're just going to go ahead and select the image here, refresh the page, of course, select the image here, and we just do exactly the same with the lit version. Okay, transparency color white, yep, make it transparent, yep, and save as. Okay, so what we're going to do is just close out this now, and we're just going to delete this, and we're just going to redo this. So we'll go ahead and open it up in Paint. So we'll go ahead and we'll open with, and we're going to select Paint. This is just to prove that you can do it in any editor tool. I just prefer to do it in Photoshop because it is a lot more easier to do, and it looks a lot more neater when you can do it through Photoshop. So go ahead, File, Save As, and we'll go ahead and save it as a in the same place. So My Game, Pictures, and we'll go ahead and call it Coins Lit. So there we go, Coins Lit. Now that should be transparent. If it's not, then it should be fine. Okay, so it looks like it might not be transparent. So it might not be like, there's other ways to make it transparent, but you'd have to use more detailed tools to make them transparent. So the purpose of this video, we're just going to leave them non-transparent, but you could theoretically make them transparent, is what I'm trying to say. So what we're going to be doing is, so I'm going to be showing you the difference between this physical image here and a UI image. This moves us on to our next thing, which is going to be a started UI. So when a player joins the game, they're always going to have these GUIs. This is going to be a way for the players to create UI, and UI is a big thing in Roblox. It's a major thing because it's all how the game looks, how it aesthetically looks, and how things are made together. Well, not made together, made to look nice. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pressing plus, creating a screen GUI, and we're going to rename this screen GUI, and we're going to call it Coins GUI. Actually, we'll rename it, call it Stats GUI. Now, inside of a GUI, you can have frames, text buttons, text labels, image labels, text box, image button. Which we'll go into more detail in future episodes. For the purpose of this video, what we're going to be doing is putting in a. We're going to be putting in image label. Now this is going to be our coins. So right now at the start, you can just drag it around the screen by clicking it and dragging. We're going to go ahead and place this somewhere that looks nice, like on the top right here, for example. And we're just going to go ahead and rename this one and call it Coins GUI. Coins image for short. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and set the transparency to 1. The background transparency to 1. And we're going to go ahead and for now we're just going to leave it blank. We're not going to put an image in it at the moment, and there's a reason for this. So now we're going to go ahead and insert a local script. Now I'll go into detail what the difference between a normal script is and a local script is in the future. But for now, all you need to know is it works with UIs. So we will touch into a little bit of that now. So the difference between a local script and a normal script. So a normal script can only communicate through the server. So for example, let's say your game is the server, for example, and everybody who joins are clients, right? Your game is the server. Everybody who joins is a client. only things editable on the client can be made editable by a local script. So you can only edit local script. So you can only edit players with using local scripts. However, there is more to this because you can go into remote events, which is another episode in the future. So stay tuned for that. We'll get back to this now. So that is what a local script is. It can only edit the player and the client side. A script can edit the server side. Okay, so what are variables? Variables are can be anything from numbers to a name to true or false. To basically, they can be a whole number or a decimal number. So for example, how do you write a variable? So you're going to go ahead and type in local. Let's just do an example. We'll do local name equals I don't know, James, for example. So this right here, what we've created here, this is named a string. So what are strings? Strings are basically like words, or like, for example, I don't know, you could have a letter and that would be a string. Somebody's name is a string, for example. So this moves us on to our last UI thing that I missed in the last episode, our output. So this is only really necessary if you're doing scripting and you run into an error. It will show you what happens down here. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be, for example, we're going to go ahead and press print, and then we're just going to press name. So as you can see, we said local name equals James. I'm going to print name. So if you go ahead and run this, you'll notice in the output it'll say James. Okay. So oh yeah, so you see it didn't say James. That's because it's a local script. Local scripts will not post anything to the server because it's locally. It's the client. So if we go ahead and place a script inside of a server script service, for example, so we'll go ahead and copy the exact same script, copy it, and then go ahead and paste it into here. You'll see that when we run it, it will say James. There you go, right there it says James. That's because anything executed on the client side will not be shown on the server side. That means that basically, if you had somebody who came on who wanted to hack the game, and let's say they wanted to change a door to be open, for example, in your game, they could write, if they wanted to write a script and say door open, the server wouldn't allow them to. It's private to the client, so they would only see it open. All the rest of the players would see it closed. However, if we were to do it on the server side, if we were to have a script in the game that would automatically open the door, then all the players would see that door open, not just one player. So, moving on. We're going to delete the script from the server script service for now. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go into the local script, and we're just going to go local coins image equals game, so it equals script.parent.coins image. Now what we've done there, we've just created a variable named coins image, and that's going to go to the parent of the script. So this is our script here, local script. So it's gone into the parent, and our parent is stats GUI. It's then going ahead and looked for coins image. So now we've referenced coins image with a variable named coins image. So now if we go ahead and press type in coins image and press dot, you'll notice we get all these options that we can play with: background color, transparency, and so forth. This is how we can edit properties of something using scripting, and we will go further into this in the future, and we will go. There will be a video dedicated just for scripting. This is going to be teaching the basics and basically just showing you an example of how the physical world of Roblox interacts with the UI world of Roblox. Okay, so coins image. So for example, let's say at the start of the game, when everybody joins the game, we want the image to show our first image, which is the coins that is not lit. Okay, so we're going to say coins.image equals. Now if you right click your coins and press copy ID, now if you go ahead and put these parentheses here, you can go ahead and press Ctrl V. Now it's going to come up with this: Roblox asset ID /499633788 and so on. That's going to load the image in to the image up here. So we're going to go ahead and show you that now. If we go ahead and press run, you'll see that it won't actually show it because we're not on the we're just running from the server side. So if we go ahead and run it from the client side, so press play. Okay, so now you'll see it should show the coins image at the top right. Okay, there we go. As you can see, it shows us the unlit version of the coins. Now it does look a little bit like out of shape at the moment, but we are going to be fixing all of that in future episodes. This is just an example of the physical world and the UI world of Roblox. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to go ahead and go to server script service, and we're going to be creating a script. Now what we're going to be doing here is we're going to call this player setup. So what we're going to be doing is under player setup, we are going to be creating some stats because we want the players to be able to have cash. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a function. Like I said, there will be a video fully dedicated to scripting, so we'll be doing that in the future. So if you want to just copy this video, and we will be just doing this as an example. So we're going to say local. Let's give it our name a function. So we're going to say on player join. Okay, so this is a function. We're going to say client as a function, the local function on player join. Pretty simple, right? So now, remember when I said that Roblox the workspace is inside of game? Well, this is how the scripting works. So if we go inside, say game.workspace, you can see it's gone from game into workspace. Now we're looking at all the things inside of here. Everything that's inside of workspace we're looking at. So what we're going to do is we're going to say game.players added. Now this is an event. Events on Roblox are things that are going to trigger something. So for example, when a player joins, we wanted to trigger something. We're going to press connect. We're going to put these 2 dots, and then we're going to go ahead and press tab. It's going to say connect, and then we're just going to type in our name up here, which is going to be on player join. So we're going to type on player join. Now what that's going to do is every time a player joins, we're just going to print the word hello. Now as you can see, if we were to go ahead and test it, we're going to start a server up just to show you this will work as an example. Okay, so we should let it load. Why is he what? I don't understand why he's repeating himself. Okay. We're just going to let it load, and as you can see in the output, if we go and press F9 and we go to the output, give us a second here, every time a player joins, we will get it to say hello in the output. So if you give us a second here, okay. So if we have a look in the outputs, we go to view output, as you can see we've got the word hello in the output here. So if we were to go ahead and get a player to join, so another player was to join, for example, so we'll go ahead and let another player join. As you can see in the output here, it will say hello ×2. There we go. So now every time a player joins, it's going to say hello. Now, how do you get leader stats in Roblox? What is leader stats? Say I wanted to display how much cash a player has. This is how you would do it. So when a player joins, what you're going to do is you're going to set inside of these brackets here, you're going to type in player. So now what you can do is you can say if player, then. So that means if there is a player, then it's going to run the code within like this area here. So if there is a player that has joined, we're going to say local ls, short for leader stats, equals instance.new. I'm going to create a folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a comma, and that we're going to parent it to the player. So that means that we're going to be creating a new folder inside of the player. We're going to go underneath it. We're going to say ls.name equals leader stats. Very, very simple. It says leader stats. So that's very, very simple. So now what we're going to need to do is, if you want a cash, for example, you're going to have to create that yourself. So you're going to go ahead and do local cash equals instance.new. Now there's quite a few things you can do. You can do a string if you really wanted a string value. You can do a bool value, which is a true or false. So for example, if this statement is true, it will do this. Bool value is true or false. You have a int value, which is a whole value. So for example, numbers between 1 and 100, for example, or more. And then you also have another one, which is a number value. So what a number value is it's a decimal value. So you could have it would be good for if you're measuring the speed of a car or a rocket, for example, and you wanted the distance from the ground or how fast it's going, because that would show numbers like this, for example. It would show 0.111158 and so on. An int value shows numbers 1 through to whatever numbers you want, but it can't be decimal numbers. And a string is as simple, it's just going to be a word. Okay, so we said local cache equals instance.new. Now we want it to be like a whole value, so we're going to say int value. We're going to parent that to the leader stats folder. This is what we created here. And now we're going to say cache.name equals cache. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. And so that's going to create some cache inside the player. Now they'll have nothing at the start, which is fine, because we're going to be creating a way for the players to save stuff in the future. Because Roblox does not save it automatically. You have to code that yourself. So I know it's going to it looks complicated, guys, but I promise you, once you learn the fundamentals of scripting and how Roblox works, it does get a hell of a lot easier. Like anything in life, if you stick at it, and eventually you'll understand how it works. But break it down into bits. Don't all do it at once. Break it down in bits. So, we've created cache. So for example, if we go ahead and press test play now, you should notice at the top right of the screen it will say cache. As you can see there, it says my name and now it says cache. That means you've just successfully created cache in the player. Now we want it to look a lot better than this. We want it to show the cache above here. So we're going to do that. So we're going to go ahead and go into our player script, and right now we're just going to give the player a random amount of cache as an example. So we're going to say cache.value equals math.random 1 through to 100. So what that means is it's going to give us a random number between 1 through to 100. 1000, we'll make it 1000 for example. That's just going to allow us to make the script look nice. Make it look nice over here in the UI. So, continuing on, we're going to go back to our server stats GUI. Now we're going to go ahead and create ourselves a text label. We're going to take this text and we're just going to place it above the cache. And again, we're just going to make it look a little bit nicer with the way things are. It was a little bit too much stretched. So if you come down here, you can actually change the scale type. So we're going to go ahead and set it to fit. Fit's quite nice. So now we're going to select the text, and we're just going to put it above the cache image that we have. And we're just going to scale it down. So we'll go ahead and do that now. And we'll go ahead and place it on top of the coins image. So we'll go ahead and rename this, and we're just going to call this coins text. We'll go back into our local script. And we're just going to go ahead and create a variable for this. So we'll go ahead and say coins text equals script.parent, because remember it's inside of stats GUI. And then we're going to say dot coins text. And just like the image, it has loads of properties. So we say coins text dot text, and there's loads of different properties that's not really essential at the moment. So for now, for the purpose of this video, all we're going to do is we're going to set the background of it to transparent. We're going to scale the text up, and we're going to give it a nice font like Arial, and go ahead and give the text a color for example. And we'll go ahead and give it a stroke of black, and we'll set the default text to nil. Just by removing that. So I know we've gone through a lot, guys, and I know it's going to take a while to get your head around it, but trust me, the best way to do it with Roblox is just to dive in, find out what mistakes you've done, and then learn from those mistakes and move on. It may take you 100 attempts to make something work, but if you can do it on your 101th attempt, then you're progressing regardless of what level you're at. So, coins text. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to teach you about loops. So while true do. It's very simple. So while this is true, which is always going to be true, do all the stuff inside of here. Now it's important when you are actually doing a while true loop, make sure to have a wait inside. Otherwise it can make your robots crash, because it's going to run forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And it's going to run without any issues. It's just going to keep going and keep going. By adding a wait, you're going to make it give it a chance for the game to catch up. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to say up here, we're just going to create a new variable underneath here, and we'll say local player equals game.players.local player. Now, because we're in a local script, we can only do this in the local script. We can only get the player that it's local to. So, for example, this would be the player that is running this code. So, what we're going to say is we're going to say local leader stats. Because remember, we created a float folder inside of the player named leader stats. Equals player wait for child leader stats. Now remember, we created a folder inside of player named leader stats. What we're going to do is we're going to wait for it to be added to the game, because it's not going to be added to the game straight away. That's what we created a script to do that in the server script service. So we're going to go ahead and find leader stats, and we're going to wait for it to load into the game. So what we're going to say inside of while true do, we're going to say so we're going to say underneath here we're going to say local cache equals leader stats find first child cache, because remember we named it cache here with a capital K. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say if player then, and then we're going to say coins text dot text equals cache dot value. And what we're going to do is we're going to say we're going to add 2 dots and we're going to add some text before it. Now what we're doing here is we're going to be adding this onto what this value is here. So we're going to call it coins. There we go, simple like that. Now what that means is it's going to say coins and then it's going to say the value of our coins. So if we go ahead and launch the game now, you can see we'll get our coins value to appear in the top right of the screen. As you can see there, it tells us our coins value. Now that's not very good UI. It's very not very nice. It's very chunky and not nice. But this is just a demonstrational video. It's not going to be the best. But what we can do is make it a little bit nicer by changing it. Well, every time that the player updates that value, we can go ahead and change the image. So what we can say is we copy the ID of the lit version, and we can say come up here and we can say what we're going to do is we're just going to make these two a variable. So we're going to say local non-lit equals this string here. We're going to copy that and we're just going to paste this up here. Non-lit. We create another variable and call it lit. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and copy this and paste it into here. So now we're just going to go up to here and I'm going to say coins image dot image. Oh wait, it's 1 second. Underneath here we're going to say coins image dot image equals non-lit. Okay. So right now it's very simple. It's not going to do much. This is where we're going to create a function here. So we're going to go ahead and say local. 1 second. Local function on cache value change. So that means we're going to create a function that is going to say that when the cache value changes, it's going to fire the code within this function. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go into while true do, and we're just going to go underneath here and we're going to say cache dot value So cache dot changed connect on cache value change. Okay. Now we are doing an event here, like we did before with the players when they join the game. It triggers when this value changes. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to say when this cache value changes, we want it to set the image to lit. So what we're going to do is we're going to say cache dot image equals lit, and then we're going to wait wait 3 seconds, and then we're going to say cache dot image equals non-lit. Very, very simple. This shouldn't be that hard, so if you've missed anything, go back in the video and watch it again, because it's very, very simple. This is the basic of coding in Lua, and it's very, very, very simple. Once you learn the basics, it's very simple. Like I said, I will be having a very dedicated video to scripting, so that will be coming out soon. Just stay tuned for that. So the next thing we're going to do is, so we have it lit. So let's go ahead and make it rotate as well. So once it's lit, we want to rotate it around. So if we go ahead and look at close image, we have a rotation option. Where is it? We have a rotation option in here somewhere. It should be here somewhere. Have a look. It should be here somewhere. Rotation. We have a rotation property. So if we go ahead and change the rotation, so at the moment it's 0. So if we wanted to rotate it around, then it would be so 360 degrees would be like a full rotation. So what we're going to do is we're going to say there's a lot of ways you can do this. You can do cache dot rotation. Oh, my bad, sorry guys. What you want to do is do coins image, sorry, not cache image. Coins image. There we go. So what you're going to do is going to say coins image dot rotation. Okay, and this is going to equal to 0 to start off with. Now you could do this a lot of ways, so this is how we're going to be doing it. So we can do this is we can say we're going to do a for loop. Now what is a for loop? A for loop basically means for how, like for example, we can say for I is equal to 1. Let's say 360 for example, and then we're going to tick up by 1. So that means so I is equal to 1. Then it's going to tick up to 360 by 1. So it's going to count until it gets to 360, and it's going to add by 1. So we'll go ahead and press do. So now what we can do is we can say coins image dot rotation equals I. Now what that's going to do is it's just going to rotate the image round, and then it's going to set it back to the default. So we'll go ahead and set it back to the default in a second. Let's just go ahead and do this here. So if we go ahead and press play now, what you should see is 1 second. So we wanted to go ahead and make sure we want to change the cache again. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait about, I don't know, like 15 seconds, and then we're going to say cache dot value equals 50 for example. You're going to test and play, and what you should see is at the start it should equal to 946, as you can see, 946. Now it should set it to 50, and you should see something happen to the image in a second. There we go. It's gone ahead and done that, and I set it back. Now it didn't rotate. Why did it not rotate? Why did it not rotate? That's because we need to do a weight of like 0.3. And then we'll wait about 10 seconds before it sets it back. This is just an example. So we go ahead and wait a second, and it should set it to 50, and then you'll see it should do a rotation around. This is just something fancy you can do. It's not the best, but as you can see, it is rotating round. Not the quickest, but you can make it quicker. It all depends on how fast you want it. So that's basically the logic. It's going to rotate all the way around. It's going to take forever, so we're not going to actually do that, but that's what you could do. So this is going to do it for this episode. Next episode we'll go in more in depth into other stuff, how to make doors and how to actually make stuff in Roblox. Thank you for watching. My name is Ryan, and I'll see you guys in the next video or episode.